the White House, Washington Monument, and Lincoln Memorial. These touristic landmarks of Washington, D.C. are nowhere to move. But nation's capital is losing one of its symbols. The recent census data shows about 1/10 of African Americans moved out of D.C. in the last decade.
The house price increases made it harder for people of lower incomes to stay in the city.
Urban historian Blair Rubel says U Street, Foggy Bottom, Georgetown, and DuPont Circle were predominantly black neighborhoods. He says the white and black areas formed centuries ago.
African Americans were on plantations on the flatlands that are to the east of Washington, and free farmers and whites were on the highlands to the west, and that line more or less still holds up.
Richard Malone cooks lunch in his house just at the border, 16th and Nicholson Streets by Rock Creek Park. His parents moved here in the 60s. He says it was an African-American neighborhood blocks and blocks around.
There's no one still here. We're the last, basically, me and Horace Holmes, the gentleman down the street, are the last ones from that era.
Experts name a number of reasons why D.C. is losing its African-American population. The city doesn't create jobs for an average black family. They also say whites usually have more of inherited wealth, whereas blacks are selling the property they passed along generations to make the ends meet.
Sell it for $400,000. If they have 4 kids, we get $100,000 apiece. And therefore they do that, and they can go out to PG County and they can buy a house at a reasonable price, have some yard space, and not have to pay for the tuition for their kids.
Richard Malone says the tradition to live in your parents' house is what created the Chocolate City. After he's gone, he says his son will continue cooking lunch in this same kitchen. Chocolate is melting in a so-called chocolate city. Some say from now on Washington, D.C. should be called a vanilla swirl city. But experts say with rising populations of white and Hispanics across the country, nicknames may no longer carry the meaning. Soon, everybody in America will be a minority. From Washington, D.C., I'm Viktorija Rinkeviciute.